This is NTV.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. You're watching NTV at ONE. My name is Zainab Ismail. Now, senators are bracing for another make or break session on the county funds allocation revenue sharing formula this afternoon. And the sitting will be a defining moment in Kenya's history after the House adjourned on July 28th when the lawmakers voted and deferred on the third basis revenue sharing formula, hitting a deadlock for the sixth time. Our senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi is currently on standby for more details at a hotel here in Nairobi. Now, Mureithi, a lot of back and forth. Where are we at and what are we looking forward to this afternoon session?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Zainab, there in NTV studios. And quite as you have said, it is going to be a defining moment as we are looking at about 25 senators who will be marching into the Senate in matching red Kenyan flag ties as they try to once again and defeat the government agenda on the floor of the House. And right now we are at the Pan-African Hotel, where we do understand that some of them have been meeting since the last 1 hour, and they have been trying to craft a strategy with which they will be going into the Senate this afternoon with. We've seen a few minutes ago when we came in, we saw that Akanidi Senator Kindiki Kithure come in and probably try and talk sense into some of the senators. This is coming at the backdrop of information that some of these senators who last week were able to shoot down a proposal to extend the implementation of the committee formula that is on revenue sharing by 2 years. 25 of them shot it down, and they've been trying to hold up for the last 1 week to make sure that they still have those numbers. And those are some of the strategy meetings that they are having at this particular hotel here in Nairobi. We do understand that some of them have been reached in an effort to change their stand on where to vote. And this is with regards to applying either political, financial, or even party pressure in the effort that these people are able to change their stand. One of them we also do understand might have already changed their position, but it is not a matter that we do know very much, because in politics there is a lot of propaganda and you may not know what is the truth until that matter takes care or happens on the floor of the House. But there are 7 senators who are being targeted with regards to changing their position, and some of them are in this particular meeting. Yesterday, we were able to see on Sunday 2 of the senators from Makueni and Kitui were able to travel to one of their own in Machakos to try and give him support and call on him not to change his position. Remember, out of the 3 Ukambani counties, it is only Machakos that is supposed to gain from this new formula that is being suggested by the committee. But in solidarity with the other lower eastern counties, Senator Kabaka was able to change his position and reject the proposal, and he has actually been standing very much with them. Another person that we also do know that is being targeted is the senator for Kisii, who is now the current chairperson of the County Public Accounts and Investments Committee, that is Sam Ongeri. And we do know there is a probability that he may change his position this afternoon on the floor of the House. This other side is looking for only 3 senators to make sure that they do pass their agenda, and that is the Finance Committee formula this particular afternoon. So what else do we expect, Zainab, this afternoon is that we are expecting resumption of debate on the motion on the amendments that were proposed by Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja. And in resumption of this debate, it will go the full haul, whereby they will be able to also vote and see whether those amendments are going to be passed. if the amendments that suggest that we go with the 316 billion shillings to be given to counties, then any other money that amounts to either conditional grants or any other money that the government is supposed to advance to the counties is going to be given with the formula that has been suggested by the Finance Committee. So if those amendments are passed, then they become part of the Finance Committee report, and it will have to be adopted either by those amendments or they have to fail it down altogether. So we do expect that to happen, and these 25 senators are actually trying to glue together to make sure that this does not happen, and those marginalized communities, as they call themselves, which include the northeastern counties, some counties in Masai Land, and also some counties from coast, are able to either benefit or not. So this is a political matter, and there are those who have also been calling on President Uhuru Kenyatta and his new political friend Raila Odinga to come in and probably talk on this matter to make sure that even what is going to be discussed and passed has their blessings. Right now we have not been able to see that, and we are actually looking to see what will be happening, and if this afternoon they go into the assembly, it will be a matter that is going to be supported or not. But right now we are here just making sure everything happens. We've seen most of their vehicles here. We've also seen some of them walking, but we do understand that they are in one of the meeting rooms here at the Pan-Afric trying to craft that last-minute strategy. The other team that is led by Senator Irungu Kangata, we also do understand that they are in one of the hotels here in Nairobi trying to also craft a strategy as they try to woo some senators, only 3, to make sure that they can get that 25 and defeat the others by either 22 or get the whole 7 and make sure that they have a resounding victory with regards to the passage of this particular formula in the Senate this afternoon. But right now, we are still staking out to hear what it is that they are going to craft and whether it will translate into what will happen on the floor of the House this afternoon. But right now, it's back to you, Zainab, in studio.
All right, thank you, Kennedy Mureithi, there on standby just to bring us more details of that heated debate, and it is anticipated will be happening this afternoon. Our eyes will be traded on that, and of course we'll be bringing you live coverage on that as well. Now, how to allocate 316.5 billion shillings among the 47 counties has sparked polarized debate and positions in the recent past. As the country now counts down to the deliberation regarding the same in the Senate this afternoon, many Kenyans are just yet to understand what is causing divergent views on regarding this particular matter. And Julian Samboko is now giving us insights into some of the issues that distinguish the formula proposed by the CRA and that from the Senate Finance Committee. Take a look.
In this report on the review of the second generation formula, which has been used to determine revenue allocation across counties between the financial years 2017-2018 and 2019-2020, the Commission on Revenue Allocation argued that the country needed a formula which allocates resources based on devolved functions. The second generation formula places significant weight on the population factor, which accounts for 45% of the total weighting considered. Other factors considered are the equitable share factor, poverty index, land mass, fiscal effort, and the development factor. Debate around the third generation formula has become increasingly divisive, with the Senate committee proposal differing from the weighting of select metrics when compared to that of the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Stark departure between the Commission and the Senate committee are in the weightings of health, land mass, and the roads index. The Institute of Economic Affairs Chief Executive Officer Kwame Owino argues that by and large, the issues talking division are being blown out of proportion.
When you have a new formula, and we had the same discussion with the second one and previously, when you have a new formula, obviously it redistributes by stating that, look, there will be greater resources everywhere. It's more evident this year because it's being redistributed on the basis of the last year's revenues. So obviously it's reflecting a quote unquote what people see as a loss when it's actually a new formula.
The IEA further argues that there is a strong basis for the third generation formula being anchored on consideration of more service delivery metrics as opposed to the blanket consideration of population.
What they've tried to do is to provide coherence between money and what functions a county performs. because the first one basically just took account of population as on its own. There was very little connection between how the money was calculated and what functions county governments were performing.
Kwame Owino further says that the present push and pull around the county revenue allocation formula reflects the existing knowledge gap which exists around the country's public finance architecture and more so the distribution of resources.
Well, varied reactions continue to greet the current impasse over the debate on the revenue sharing formula, and political and professional bodies are now conversing ahead of the crucial Senate vote.
Senators this afternoon meet for the 7th time in an effort to break the deadlock on the contentious revenue sharing formula that has split the Senate. Former Machakos Senator Johnston Muthama is asking the Deputy President to once again call on his troops to shoot down the Finance Committee's proposal and give a lifeline to counties that are expected to lose out in the revenue sharing.
It forced me to call the Deputy President and insist and ask him to allow some of the and ask his members to vote against that proposal.
Muthama claims the new formula will disadvantage marginalized communities.
The government of Kenya should look for money and add to the counties which has got high populations.
Northern Kenya professionals hold a similar argument. The group is calling on the 25 senators who have shown resistance to the committee report not to lose steam.
The Commission on Revenue Allocation is being used by the executive to further marginalize a section of the country.
Then we will go back to marginalization and other forms of vulnerabilities that we are still subjected to.
In Western Kenya, young professionals are calling on Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala to abandon his stand and stand with the larger Western region that stands to benefit from the committee's formula.
We are actually supporting the revenue allocation formula that has been stipulated by the CRA together with the amendments that have been provided. Why? Because the reasons that have been given. One, we support resource allocation to our people.
If this money is brought to us through our leaders and they are accountable to what they are doing or using their money, we will see change in our counties.
In a telephone conversation with NTV Monday evening, Malala admitted that he was under pressure to support the formula, adding that he would be on the right side of history after the vote today. Malala is among 7 senators considered as a swing vote. Kennedy Muredi, NTV.
All right, well, away from that, national flag carrier Kenya Airways has secured moratorium on loan repayment for a period of between 6 and 12 months as the airline seeks to prop its financial position. Now, according to a financial technical report from the airline dated July 13th, 2020, Kenya Airways faces a monthly loan servicing bill of about 845 million shillings, hence necessitating engagement with creditors for more favorable terms to tide through the present crisis. Kenya Airways has also secured deferment of lease on rentals for a period of between 3 months and 6 months as it undertakes aggressive cash preservation in the face of depressed revenues due to the adverse effects of COVID-19. Kenya Airways resumed international flights on Saturday, the 1st of August, after 3 months of suspended operations due to a government directive. All right, well, away from that, Kisumu Central Constituency ODM delegates are currently meeting to take disciplinary action against Kennedy Ajwang, who allegedly led a group of goons who attacked and injured board members of the Kisumu County Public Service Board yesterday. Our Oko Kusa is now joining us live from Kisumu. Oko, what more details have you gathered from what transpired?
Well, Zainab, as you've clearly mentioned there, that meeting is currently going on right behind me there. That is the office of the Kisumu Central Constituency ODM branch. Actually, that is where Kennedy Ajwang, popularly known here as Jege Jege, was found yesterday after that attack at the Public Service Board offices, and a group of goons in a retaliatory attack descended on him and beat him up. He's currently in hospital receiving treatment. We are made to understand that he was rushed to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and referral hospital. That is why he's receiving treatment since yesterday's incident. And right now, as we speak, the delegates are meeting inside here. The meeting is being chaired by Market Milimani Ward member of County Assembly, that is Seth Kanga, who also happens to be the chairman of Kisumu Central Constituency ODM branch. And we are also made to understand that on Thursday, the Kisumu County ODM branch officials will also be meeting to take disciplinary action against the same Jege Jege. Remember, Jege Jege is the deputy chairman or vice chairman of Kisumu County ODM branch, and here at the Kisumu Central Constituency ODM branch offices is a delegate, and that is the reason why the delegates are meeting right now to de-whip him as far as yesterday's incident is concerned. Just to bring our viewers to speed with what transpired yesterday is that the said man, Kennedy Ajuang, is accused of leading a group of goons to attack members of the Kisumu County Public Service Board at their offices yesterday, demanding for jobs. We are made to understand that there was some recruitment that happened a few weeks ago, where some enforcement officers and revenue collectors were employed by the county government, but then a section of the goons who raided those offices yesterday claimed that their letters of appointment were being held by the HR officer, Mr. Kennedy. We're yet to get his other name, and of course a member of the board called Professor Edward Kochung. So those meetings are supposed to be happening here today, and of course on Thursday, as I've mentioned there, and we'll be bringing our viewers more details as they happen. Zainab.
Thank you so much, Oko Kusa there from Kisumu County. Well, local administrators in Uasin Gishu County have been ordered to document all cases of teenage pregnancies, including the suspected perpetrators, for their apprehension and punishment under the law. Uasin Gishu County Commissioner Jaldesa Abdirizak expressed concern over the rising cases of teenage pregnancies in the region and warned the perpetrators of dire consequences. He said it would be unfortunate for students and pupils to start attending maternity clinics instead of going to schools upon their reopening. The commissioner spoke after receiving food donations and hand sanitizers from the University of Eldoret. The university has embarked on producing sanitizers and detergents to be distributed in the community.
Wanawake ni wengi sana. Why must you go for mtoto wa shule? Hivyo ni jukumu letu kama viongozi kuhakikisha we punish hawa watu ambao wanaharibu watoto wetu.
When you are innovating, the things are at a small scale. But we have reached a place whereby what we have produced in terms of sanitizers and detergents, we can actually go a full scale to be able to produce enough for a small community. And hopefully, once this happens and advances, we have innovating an income-generating unit within us, which will be able to take over that particular aspect.
Well, cases of teenage pregnancies have been on the rise, many occasioned by the extended stay at home from school due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Kitui County has reportedly recorded an alarming 3,000 teen pregnancies since the pandemic hit the country in March.
There has been a spike in cases of teen pregnancy countrywide. This alarming reality has been linked to the longer stay at home for children as schools remain closed. School closures mean that the provision of meals and sanitary products, which children from disadvantaged families rely on significantly, has stopped.
Wazazi wanawaachilia watoto. Kamtoto kakisema, msijana akisema saa hii nataka enda kuchota maji, anaambiwa na siwende. Akisema nataka niende nikaokote kuni, anaambiwa na siwende. Sasa unakaa hapa nyumbani ukifanya nini? Lakini huko saa hii anataka aenda kuchota maji, ako na mipango na wafulana wengine.
Some of these pregnancies have also been attributed to sexual violence at the home setting and beyond.
The children who will end up having obstructed labor, these are the children who may end up having the a rupture of the uterus. These are the children who will end up having complication of even delivering children who are already dead because their passage is not already developed.
Some parents have been accused of shielding the perpetrators and settling such cases out of court.
Hakuna msichana atabeba mimba na azae kabla hatujakamata yule mwanaume anayehusika na hiyo mimba. Yule mzazi atajaribu kutengeneza kuongea lugha ya kuficha maneno ama kulipa ridhaa kwa mwenye kuweka msichana mimba ati atoe ridhaa kwa huyo mzazi, basi watakuwa wakivunja sheria na watashtakiwa.
Government agencies have also been urged to strengthen children welfare and protection amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
All right, on that note, let's take a quick break here on NTV at 1. We'll be back with more.
Rashes again. Kiss kids diapers. Kiss kids. No rashes. Kiss kids. No rashes. Bye bye rashes. Bye diapers. Choose kids kids.
Please, my darling, you know that I will never forget you. But life goes on. I think that time has come to give myself another chance. Please, my darling, you know that I will never forget you. But life goes on. I think the time has come to give myself another chance to be happy.
My father spent 2 years locked away feeling depressed. You show up and everything changed. Why's that, Lashana? What are you getting out of all of this?
One thing's for sure, you need to find a way to fix this.
All right, you know what? You're not giving me orders. I know what to do and how to do it.
We know that's not the case.
Better leave me alone and let me do things my way.
Along came love in association with Blue Band Peanut Butter. For mind-blowing music and entertainment, just move to NTV.
Maajabu, my friend. As you wait for the call, my friend, isn't it just perturbing how sure you are that the call is going to be picked? Maajabu. The recipient is probably held up. In our days, we...
To get Baba Otis Maajabu by Flacco, dial star 811 star 936 hash. Skiza Nan Nation.
Kenya's flower sector. 104 billion shillings in export revenue in 2019 and a source of employment for thousands. How is the sector faring as economies across the globe begin to reopen? What is the outlook for the sector as Kenya enters new agreements in the bilateral trade space? This Tuesday, Business Redefined delves into an analysis of the flower sector and the rebound following the COVID-19 shock.
We're glad you could stay with us. You're watching NTV at ONE. Now, in some disturbing news in Kisumu, police officers have detained a man who is accused of beating his daughter to death and brutally leaving another with serious injuries. It is alleged that a furious Maurice Owaga let out his anger on his two teenage daughters for leaving the house without his consent.
In Ageo village in Kisumu, a somber mood at the homestead of Benta Owino, mourning the death of her 15-year-old daughter who was brutally beaten to death, allegedly by her father Maurice Owaga.
Mtoto yangu nakufa. Baba yake amechapa yeye. Nashahidia na kupiga mshama awache mtoto.
Her heartache doesn't end on the death of her young one, plucked from the prime of her life, but also for her 14-year-old daughter, nursing serious injuries in the hospital, also allegedly meted by her husband. According to Benta, the two sisters left home on Friday morning without their father's consent, a move that turned disastrous in the evening when they returned. The 48-year-old suspect allegedly then bought a coffin on Saturday and carved out a narrative to sell to those who are not within the confines of this home on Friday.
Nilimpigia simu kitu kama saa moja akinijelezea vile kifo imetokea. Aliniambia mtoto alikuwa mgonjwa, mtoto akakufa. Kesho ndio nikaanza kusikia babake alimpiga.
The body of the deceased was taken to a Hero mortuary, while the survivor is currently under the Children's Department custody for protection and care. The suspect is expected to be arraigned in court Tuesday.
What can I say? Now, 18 officers have tested positive for the coronavirus at the Ministry of Devolution out of 128 samples tested. In an internal memo from Principal Secretary Charles Sonkuli, all staff have been asked to isolate for 2 weeks, after which fresh tests will be conducted. The results have brought operations to a standstill at the ministry over the highly contagious virus. The Cabinet Secretary for Devolution, Eugene Wamalwa, has yet to comment on the matter. He has, however, been attending meetings regarding response to the Baringo floods. CS Wamalwa has also been accused of flouting Ministry of Health guidelines by attending political gatherings. Well, a family in Migori County is searching for a Form 4 student who went missing from home on the 17th of last month. Janet Amondi Ogondi, a 17-year-old student at the Kadika Girls Secondary School in Migori County, left home after speaking to an unknown person on a neighbor's phone at around 10 a.m. She was last seen dressed in brown skirt with flower patches on the upper part and white lines at the bottom of the skirt. She was also wearing a cream blouse with black dots, a cardigan and a grey shoe. If you have any information about Janet Amondi, please contact Solomon Ogola. The telephone number there, 0721 677 464. Let me repeat that, 0721 677 464, or Milka Anyango with telephone number 0728 717 907, 0728 717 907. You can also report the matter to the nearest police station. Now, traders in the agricultural Limuru town have welcomed the ongoing tamaking of the roads. The farmers now say the roads upgrade will go a long way in ensuring the delivery of perishable goods to the market. Kenya Rural Roads Authority is currently carrying out the upgrade project, which is an allocation of 250 million shillings. Now, according to the area member of parliament, Peter Mwadhi, the roads will link up several constituencies and boost trade in the general area.
Hii mradi iko kwa allocation ya serikali ya mwaka huu na fedha ambazo zinahitajika tuko nazo za kutosha. Hatutarajii kusimama kwa sababu ya fedha.
Kiangalia kwa urefu inashikanisha constituency mbili, eneo bunge mbili, yani Kabete na Limuru. Na sana sana itafungua hii sekta ya ukulima, wala watu ambao wanalima hapa, ambao wanafuga kuku, mambo ya kuuza mayai, watakuwa sasa njia rahisi ya kupeleka mpaka soko kubwa ya Wangige ama ingine ya Kikuyu ambao watu wanahitaji. Kwa hivyo imefungua mambo ya ukulima na pia imefungua mambo ya wale ambao wanalisha mifugo.
Well, in other news beyond our borders, well, listen to this. A Tanzanian small-scale miner who became an overnight millionaire in June for selling 2 rough Tanzanite stones valued at $3.4 million has sold yet another gem for $2 million. The latest discovery by Sunny New Liza weighed 6.3 kilograms. Tanzanites are only found in northern Tanzania and used to make ornaments. It is one of the rarest gemstones on earth, and one local geologist estimates its supply may be entirely depleted within the next 20 years. After his June sale of 2 rocks, Liza, a father of more than 30 children, has said the money will be used to build a school and a health facility in his community in Simanjiro district in northern Manyara region.
Tutazidi kujengeka na pia mawe haya tutayasimamia vizuri.
Kwa jiwe kama hili mawe yanavyotoka zile asilimia zetu tupate kwa wakati, kwa sababu na sisi tuna familia. Matajiri wengi wamekuwa sio waaminifu, hawatoi zile pesa.
Well, he's definitely a very, very lucky miner. Now, players who deliberately cough at other players or match officials will be red-carded. Now, according to football's rule makers and the Football Association. The International Football Association Board has said that such an offence falls within using offensive, insulting or abusive language and/or gestures. The referee has to make a judgment about the true nature of the offence. The guidance comes amid the global coronavirus pandemic. The FA also issued guidance for grassroots football, which will come into force immediately. In terms of the Premier League and English Football League, there is no written guidance, and it would be down to the referee's discretion as to the punishment. And in other sports news, Brentford will play Fulham at Wembley in the Championship playoff final tonight. The winner between the West London rivals, who are separated by just 4 miles, will be promoted to the next Premier League's next season. Fulham are says that he has been racially targeted by police who stopped his car. The 30-year-old who plays for England said that he is regularly pulled over and questioned since he was 18 years old. Rose also said he has been treated differently on public transport within train staff, asking to see his ticket for a first-class carriage, while white passengers are left unchallenged. Danny Rose was racially abused by Montenegro supporters during England's Euro 2020 qualifier in March 2019 while playing for the under-21 in Serbia in 2012. All right, that's all we had lined up for you this hour. Many thanks for watching. More news in our latest subsequent bulletins. My name is NTV Smile. Stay with us and stay safe.